This video will help you win your wife back. But let's start here. I know hope is fading. She said words she's never said before, right? And she's taken actions she's never taken before. So is this time different? Is she done for good? Or is there a hidden path that just you can't see yet? I'm going to argue that this will be the most important video on this whole channel. You see, most men believe that consistent pursuits of dedication and love, that if you just tried harder, that she would see it and she'd come back. But here's what goes against everything that you've been told. The path back to her, it starts with you walking away from her first. Reconnection begins with disconnection. Now, this isn't just a logical process that I'm going to show you. It's also an energetic and spiritual law of the universe. By the end of the video, not only will we have a proven 4-part system to win her back based on thousands of clients I've worked with, but you'll also understand the exact psychological mechanics of why she left and how attraction actually rebuilds, all without begging, pleading, or trying to convince anything. So why is trying harder making it worse? We're also going to see the invisible mechanics of why she actually started to pull away herself and then how to fix it. Now, part 2, you'll learn the strategy that makes her start to think about you again while simultaneously becoming the strongest version of yourself. The third part of all this, you're going to recognize the exact moment that she's going to come back before she even realizes it herself. And that makes her feel safe enough to lower her walls again. And the last part of this video is the best, of course. You're going to develop this presence about you that makes her certain that you've changed just by looking at you. She'll stop her testing and replace it with trust. So let's break down each part. Let's understand what sacred union is. You see, the goal isn't just to get her back. It is to build sacred union. That means 2 complete people together, not 2 broken halves trying to really fix each other. I'm not going to do a whole video on what sacred union is, but some of the elements of it are an honest expression of emotions. There's clear and assertive boundaries. Both people know who they are, which means they know their values and they stick to them. There's this perfect sense of space and closeness, almost like a perfect dance of the perfect balance between the two. There's a calm non-reaction when things are said, okay, that could trigger normally. Now, let me go over a situation with your wife and show you what really a sacred union response would look like versus other responses from fear. Let's say she walks into the living room distant. She feels distant to you, right? And then she looks at you and says, I don't feel connected to you anymore. There's 2 fear responses, and then I'll show you the secure response. Now, the first fear response is the anxious response. That's when you panic inside, your heart starts racing, you're thinking of someone else, you just get super anxious and you're like trying to fix the problem immediately and you don't know what to do. This puts pressure on her, right? You're like coming at her like that, right? Even if you're not actually doing that physically, she feels the energy behind it. So naturally she's going to pull away, and that's that dance of, the pursuer and the distancer. She's rejecting the desperation because it makes her feel unsafe. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, your wife most likely has this, is the avoidant response. You'll freeze, you feel the sting deep down, but you don't express it. You'll cross your arms, you'll say whatever, you'll leave the house, you'll just not talk to her. You kind of go in this like turtle shell of yourself. So whether you physically leave or emotionally shut down, you just go inward and just remove yourself from her. And she feels an additional distance. After wanting to connect with you, you're creating more distance in that. And again, she feels unsafe. She responds to your fear with more fear. Now, what does a loving, secure response look like? Deep breath. You stay grounded. You connect to yourself. You look her in the eyes and calmly say, I can see that you're hurting and I take that seriously and I want to understand what's making you feel disconnected, but only when you're ready to talk, okay? And the words aren't as important. Don't try to remember those words. That's fine. The most important part is you're calm, you're composed. You're not chasing, but you're not shutting down. You're holding space. You're standing firm. You're opening your body and you're listening to her and you're wanting to connect with her, even if it hurts. That communicates strength, safety, empathy, all of it. That is a secure response coming from love. Now, let me tell you a quick story about a client of mine, a friend who became a client and then became a friend again. Anyways, he was telling me with his early relationship, this woman that he wanted to marry, and they were dating for about 6 months, right? And she had to move away from this job for about 3 months. And they were having this conversation one day and they were so madly in love. And he looked at her and says, well, you're coming back here, right? After your internship, I can do long distance for 3 months. And she's like, yeah, I think I want to for sure. And he's like, you think you want to? And he said, well, give me a percentage. What is of course, us guys, right? We're like, give me the percentage chance that you're going to come back. And she goes, 90%. Now, did he look at the 90% and say, cool, that's an A, that's 90% full, awesome? No. You see, our brains are naturally attuned to fear. We look for threats more than things of survival and happiness. It's just the way we are because we are seeking survival over everything else. So, of course, he focused on the 10%. And while she was gone, he made a mistake. He started dating other women because he was afraid that she wasn't going to come back because he focused on the 10%. And he ruined the best person that ever came into his life because he focused on the fear. And that's ultimately where this comes from. All disconnect and all rupture, which I'm going to go more to in this video, comes from you focusing on the fear instead of the love. And so you either pull back or you get super anxious. And that makes them feel unsafe. And it's just this spiral effect of fear responses from each other. All right, let's move on to part 2, the space phase. Now, as I said, she feels broken right now. Okay, she has to create space first to come to what's like this homeostasis, which means equanimity, balance, security in herself, in her own body. Because right now, you are the stimulus that caused pain. You have to accept that, okay? Imagine every time you looked at your wife, you got this like energetic shock, right? A jolt of pain. And the closer you got, this like stabbing, writhing pain shot between your body. Now, it's not that serious for your wife, but there is a corollary there. She does feel pain when she looks at you, when she thinks about you. That's where she's currently at. Because if that would happen to you, would you come closer to her? No, you would take space. You protect yourself. This doesn't mean you're a bad person, but right now, to her nervous system, you have to accept that you present as a threat to her. Okay, pain, not peace. So while she's in that space, let's take this time to look within yourself and see what actually happened, what caused all of this. To get out of yourself, to look from a different perspective, to see from her perspective, because then you'll have more empathy and understanding, which will make her feel safe. Most men in this space spend all their energy and focus on her, checking her social media, checking their phone, trying to text her, thinking of conversations they could have had or they will have with her. And she feels that energy, whether you were communicating it to her or not. But the moment you can remove that energy, focus on yourself, she will feel that disconnect from you in a positive way, and that will create space for curiosity to come in. Now, I'm going to give you a very powerful exercise that I give with my clients in the program that really, it gets you to that place, okay? So the first step of this is I want you to identify your own internal split within yourself. Because right now, let's be honest, you feel torn. A part of you feels like you don't even want to be with her. And if you don't accept that, I know part of you does, the bigger part of you, that's why you're watching this video. But you have to accept that a part of you feels betrayed, that she abandoned you. It hurts. There's pain there, okay? You have to look at that and be honest with yourself about it. Because a woman only comes back to a man and feels safe with him when that man has constant devotion. What I mean by this is that she has this intuitive understanding of a man that fully wants her but doesn't need her. Now, I'll share how to step into consummate devotion later on. But first, we have to start with this extreme empathy exercise. Now, I came up with this exercise one time when I was doing meditation. I was going over my past relationship, and instead of looking at it from my perspective, I had this voice tell me to instead see the whole relationship from my partner's perspective. So see all the betrayal and the pain that happened along the relationship, but I was in her eyes. I was feeling her emotions. This took some time, but as I was doing this, I saw who she thought I was and the image that she made of me and the way she felt about me, this idealized version and the love that we had. And then I saw from her perspective, whether I intended to or not, it doesn't matter, because I saw from her emotions, her perspective, how much it destroyed her, hurt her, how the trust was broken. And I started to cry. I felt extreme pain, and I felt the pain that she felt. And the reason why that's so powerful that you do this exercise with your wife is when she is upset, when she's bringing up these issues, instead of your ego just immediately defending it, be like, well, no, and you're trying to say your piece because you feel like you're being attacked. You open up and you explain to her, I totally get it. I can see from your perspective that you felt this way when I did this and made you think this, and that's why you did that. And you're laying out, maybe even better than her, the process that she went into that explains where she's at right now. And she feels so validated and understood. And because of that, she feels completely safe. Like, oh my God, he is changing. You see what I mean? You have to get outside of yourself. And that exercise alone is extremely powerful to do so. The second part is that you have to heal your resentment. You can't move forward with bitterness. It will poison everything. Even if she did terrible things to you, you have to process and release that resentment if you want to be with her. Because a man carrying all that resentment was not attractive, first of all, right? It's not powerful, and you're a victim. So many men I see, they sabotage the relationship when she starts to come back because they held on to the pain and anger and never processed it. Now, the third step is to find your masculine growth again, to step into your own energy. And this one is a game changer when you understand it. Do you have a full life by yourself, your hobbies, your purpose, your mission in life? Do you have brotherhood? Or has she been your entire world? Have you sacrificed so many things just to make her happy? Most men have made their wife really the sun of their solar system. Everything revolves around her. And so when she leaves, the whole world goes dark. But masculine energy is about having your own sun, your own source. She should be a planet in your orbit, a beautiful, important planet, but not the source of your light. Do you understand that? During the space phase, you rebuild your foundation. You reconnect with your old friends. You start that project that you abandoned a long time ago, your passions, your hobbies. You get back in the gym if you haven't been consistently. You build something, anything. Set your goals and your vision in life that you want despite her. Find your mission again. The best way to jumpstart and accelerate this process is to be around men who are on the same journey. You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with most. And this is the hidden value and power in our program. That when you come in, you are surrounded by all these men. This is all the energy just rises you up. The whole tide rises together. Now, if you want the opportunity to join the Marriage Mastery Program with the exact guided blueprint of videos day by day with exercises, the community of men and other support from our coaches, You can set up a call by clicking the link down below. It's a free strategy call with a marriage evaluator. Just make sure you are fully ready to invest in yourself and take the next step. When you take all those steps, the third part will be her return. As I said before, there is just something, I've seen it far too many times to not recognize. I mean, I'd be an idiot after thousands of patterns that I've seen to not recognize them every single time. And one of the consistent patterns I see is that when a man finally pulls his energy back towards himself, he lets go of trying to get her back. And he says to himself instead, I'm going to be the best version of myself. And I know that I will become the best man for her again. Okay. And it is a certainty that she'll come back. When men step into that, her curiosity after this phase, she cannot help it. She feels the shift in energy. You are just so dialed in with your life. You are so happy without her that she's just an add-on to your life. When you get there, she comes back every single time. Okay. I cannot emphasize how many times I've seen this like clockwork. There's this example. So I want you to imagine a lot of you have children, right? So if you have a young child, let's say from the ages of 4 to 8, right? And you go to the park with them, okay? And you let them go wander off. You can still see them in eye view. But then at some point, they're going to check back and they're going to see if you're still there, okay? So we all remember being at the grocery store and then my mom left us at the counter and she left and we're like all freaking out, right? And we're wondering where she's at because we always want a secure base. And right now, even if she's no longer in love with you, you still are neurologically attached to her and she's attached to you. And she felt your energy that you were always there whenever she needed you. If she wanted to come back to you, you would have taken her like that. But now with this energy toward yourself, she's going to check through curiosity if you're still going to be there. Now, she can reach out in so many different ways. She can make excuses to like just see the kids or do whatever or fix something around the house or whatever it is. She's going to reach out to you. Maybe you see her already every single day, but she'll notice that when you're taking more space, she's going to do something to come closer to you. But the thing is that she won't make it easy. When she does come back, the first thing that she's going to do is she's going to test the hell out of you. She's going to do something just to rattle you. So she's going to give you a little. She's going to breadcrumb you. She's going to show physical affection. She's going to show a sign that she's actually getting closer. And you're going to feel hopeful. And then she's going to shake up your whole entire world. But why does she do this? Part of the reason why she does this is because she is in her dual mind narrative. What I mean by this is that she has parts of herself. A part of her still loves you, still wants you back, is curious, hopes you'll change. And that's the part of her that's coming back that shows affection. She's not lying. She's not being crazy. She just has different parts of herself because the other part of her is like, hey, remember? He's a threat. I don't think he's fully changed. Someone can't change that fast. And it's feeding her a whole different story, okay? And you have to recognize this is a normal process, that her protector is still there, okay? And it's going to test you. But the more you pass her tests when she throws them out there, the more the protector will go away because she'll feel safer. Now, there's a video at the very end of this one I want you to wait for because it's one of the best on the channel on how to pass her tests, okay? So I want you to wait to the very end to click on that one to know exactly the framework, how to pass her tests. But for right now, all you need to know is that this dual mind narrative is taking effect and you must not react out of fear, like we said before, to those tests. Now, I made a comment on a guy's post the other day where he was getting closer to his wife and they're making progress towards about stage 3 to 4. A lot of guys would say this, I'm back in stage 1. They'll tell a big story about something that happened and then like my wife said it's over, it's done, blah, 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 blah. And I commented on it and I gave him the exact advice and it blew his mind, he said. So let me show you. Most men think, okay, I'm going to do all that Josh says. I'm going to go through the program. I'm going to be non-reactive. I'm going to take ownership. I'm going to do everything on this channel that I talk about. And you can see a lot of the comments in the videos below. Guys get progress with their wife. But a lot of guys in our logical mind think it is a straight linear process. I'm just going to do all these things and it's just going to go all great. And life is perfect that way. You know life is messy. And you know women are so complicated. Why would you think this is any different, right? I used to help men quit porn as well. And a lot of men would, they would try to go days without porn. Like, if I can make 90 days, 100 days, I beat porn. For whatever reason, they had that in their mind. And they would relapse on like day 60 or 70. And they thought they saw back at day 0. And just by showing them this, it changed everything. If you want to know the real process, if you watch all the testimonial videos, we have a whole testimonial channel that you can check out. It is like this, right? You're doing some good progress. She notices your changes. But then again, remember, dual mind narrative. She tests you. And she does something and you fail because you haven't fully learned it yet. And a lot of guys right here, what they think is that, oh, I lost. I'm back at square one. All those months of time has been wasted. Now there's 2 examples I want to show you, but it really looks like this, right? You do some more progress again and down again. And oh, I want to be with you. I love you. But then you guys get into big fights. And then when this happens, and then, you make some more progress and she's like, oh, let's go on this vacation together. And then something happens. And then you might even go way back down here, but then you shoot back up again, right? This is what it really looks like. It is messy. Okay, it is not a clean process. And the reason why this is so powerful is this. A lot of people think that if we're climbing up this mountain here, right? Let's say this is a mountain. Again, you're making your way up and a guy will fall down on the mountain. He thinks he falls back all the way down to the bottom. No, you fell down where you were currently at. Because if you're changing as a man, if you're growing, if you're recognizing that you're becoming more present, you're taking more ownership, you're setting your goals, you're losing weight, you're changing yourself as a man, you're watching the videos, you're taking action, you are changing. And when you change, the process and dynamic will change despite what she's saying, okay? There's that quote that calm seas never made a good sailor, all right? She has to stress test you. She has to make it hard for you, okay? And as a man, the way you react to these tests shows her everything. She doesn't get to see that you've changed as a man when she celebrates with you, when she has sex with you. Of course you're good and happy and calm and all these things and confident when she's giving you that praise, that validation. Every man can be. It is in the moments of difficulty, of testing, of her pulling back, of her being quiet, of her not texting you back, of her saying all these tests about, I don't feel connected to you, or you're never going to change. Those are the moments you get to prove yourself. And when you can shift your mindset to, I am looking forward to this moment. Oh, thank God. I get to go into the game and prove myself. Right? I remember playing soccer growing up and I was so good in practice. I was so good. I was like the best player in practice. But when it came game time, I didn't have it here. I panicked. I didn't want to make mistakes, so I played it safe. I didn't take risks. And ironically, I didn't play as good in the games. That's why I didn't go as far as I only did college in soccer. I didn't go all the way to pros, which I really wanted to do. I think it all worked out for the best. But the point being, game time for you are those tests. That's when you get to prove yourself. So if you could say when she's testing, oh, she's testing me because she cares. You see, a woman who doesn't test doesn't care anymore. But if she's giving you this test, if she's communicating with you, if she's saying you're not changing, a part of her thinks that you actually are. I'm going to say that again. If she says you're not changing, she would not even bring that up if a part of her didn't believe that you actually were, okay? It's like that whole adage where if your wife says to you, hey, we're not going to have sex tonight. You're like, oh, you're thinking of having sex with me tonight? You see what I mean? So it's just a simple mindset shift. It seems simple, but it is profound, okay? Here's that video on the tests that I suggest you watch, or a transformation video of the client that I worked with that really saved his marriage in a really amazing way. So set up a call with our team down below if you need additional support. I love you. Take care.